It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. Hey, welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 4. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, October 30th. And thank you for being here today for another wonderful episode of this show. If you love this show, and I know you do, please follow everywhere. It's Dep Lewis Show everywhere you can think of. You need to like, you need to subscribe, you need to rate, you need to review, you need to turn on your notifications, you need to tell a friend. And last, you need to email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. That's your homework for the week. You got to do all those things. There's a million of them. Once again, you got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to rate, you got to review, you got to turn on the notifications, and you got to tell a friend. So quit your job and do that. And then email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. I forgot to do this part last week, so I'm being a little more diligent about this week. And so full episodes of the Dep Lewis Show are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Patreon, and there's more on my Buzzsprout page. So Buzzsprout, you can listen to it on there. And Buzzsprout will also link you to other places to listen that might suit your needs. I'm putting clips of the Dep Lewis Show on YouTube and on TikTok. And I think that is it for housekeeping today. Thank you for being here. It's been another great week. Dep Lewis Show is still popping off. Still getting noticed in the streets. It's been insane. So just thank you for being here. Going through this podcast, this is the 4th week of doing it. It's been a lot of fun. Notes from last week to myself would be, I had neighbor music in the background. Dep Lewis Show is, it's recorded at a very prestigious location. It's a very, very commercial building called my apartment. So there's oftentimes going to be random noise throughout the episode. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. But hopefully it's not too much of a disturbance. But last week you could hear one of my neighbors bumping some music on their porch. And they usually kind of play good music, which is cool. But this has been the only time it's ever bothered me, really, with recording this damn show. But yeah, so if you heard some music in the background, I'm trying to make the audio experience here great for you, listener. So please don't blame that on me, but I don't know what to do. Neighbors playing music. I got a package stolen last night. You can't have a package on your porch for more than 5 minutes without shit's getting yanked. So it's crazy around here. So music in the background. I had a quick cut to break. That could happen again today. I'm still working out how to do this. I'm just freestyling. I have an outline for what I'm going to talk about, but I got to just work on my transitions and all that kind of stuff. So if you notice a quick cut to break or something like that during the episode, it's probably for the best, but this is a work in progress. So it's probably just to make the listening experience better, or to cut something out, or there's a purpose to it. So just if you hear something like that, know there's a purpose to it. And I'm just trying to get better so I don't have to be doing that kind of stuff. I'm messing with the gain on the mic, trying to see if that helps out with any of the unwanted sounds. And then shout out to my filter. I got that filter last week. I think it really did kind of help. I got it set up again, so I think a filter is pretty crucial on a mic, I would say, for my limited experience. So hopefully that's helping and making this sound good in your earlobes today. And we're going to have a great episode, so let's get into it. Today we're going to kind of we're going to have our normal 3 sections. First section is going to be what I've been playing. Second section is going to be what I've been seeing others play. And then the last section, we're going to have some miscellaneous talk. So just something to look forward to in your mind there. So we're going to get started off with something I purchased this week that's really cool. I bought an Elgato. I bought a HD60X is what it's called. Got it from Best Buy. I'm able to capture gameplay footage with this thing now. And I'm also able to stream from my Switch. So it's really, really, really cool. I've never been able to stream from a Nintendo platform before. And this thing is super easy. You basically just plug the HDMI out of the console into this box. You then plug the HDMI. It has another slot for a second HDMI on it that goes from the device into the back of the TV. And then it has another cord that goes to your computer. So you just need to have OBS open, as what I found or what I'm using is OBS on my computer. I plug the 2 HDMI cords in, and then you're able just to hit start streaming, or you're able to hit start recording. And if you record the gameplay footage, it'll just drop the file onto your desktop. So it's really, really cool. I've recorded a few little, I've recorded some of Splatoon 3 as kind of like a test. I've recorded just a little video of me playing it. But I was thinking that I'll be able to use the gameplay footage for clips I do. So if I'm talking about a game or something, I can take a little clip and put it on there. So I'm going to try to focus on that with TikTok and YouTube, because I think it's a cool place to put clips of the podcast. And I'm thinking I've been trying different lengths of clips with what I've been putting up, but I think I need to get some cool gameplay in a short clip of what I'm talking about on this podcast and put it together and see if that's going to be successful on there. I think it would be a cool way to get word out on the podcast. So that's one of the things I want to do with this Elgato. I've also thought about possibly doing, maybe showing off some video footage of these games, and showing off me, like showing you around the game. I play a lot of games during the year. I don't necessarily play everything or finish them all, but I could maybe record like a short video, similar-ish to the Giant Bomb method of quick looks, and record some gameplay, tell you about the video game. And now I'm able to do it real easily. I can talk over it. I can stream. I can record. It's really cool. I've done a few streams here and there throughout the week, but I haven't done anything serious with the Gato yet. But I think it's going to be a great device for the Dep Lewis Show and just for my life as a whole. So it's really neat. I'm glad I bought it. I think I bought the right one. It works pretty seamlessly on my Xbox and my Switch. For the PS5, it took a little finagling. You have to disable HDCP on there, which is under the system settings. It prevents you from capturing things like Netflix or TV footage that they wouldn't want you to. So the HDCP won't allow you, to take that footage just for yourself. So you have to disable that to be able to stream with the Gato. And then you also need to bump your settings. If you're playing in 4K on your TV, you need to stream and record in 1080p and 60 frames. So you must change this on your PS5 before being able to capture, is what I'm under the impression of. And I did some trial and error, and it seems like this is the case. But I am new to this device, so I could be missing a setting or something. But that seems like what you have to do. So that's some advice from the Dep Lewis Show to you about using an Elgato. And like I said earlier, OBS works great for this. I like that all these. It's been real easy to start this podcast. I've needed limited equipment, and it's been cool to be able to buy these few extra things to really enhance it. So it's a lot of fun. So I recommend this Elgato to anyone who wants to do what I was just talking about. And there's other versions of them. I'd say they're decently affordable for what they're doing and for how well they work. So shout out to Elgato. Thank you for having a good product out there for the Dep Lewis Show to go buy. And so, speaking of the Elgato and capturing all these wonderful, great things, we're going to start talking about what I've been playing. So what I've been playing this week, we're going to start off with this great game. Some would say it's the game of the year, 2022, and that is Splatoon 3. I restarted Splatoon 3. Can you believe that? I was on rank 16 or so on my other account, but I've created the Dep Lewis Nintendo profile. So Dep Lewis, catch me on Nintendo playing, catch me on the interwebs, catch me on Nintendo Switch Online. Possibly I could play with some loyal listeners one day if they ever wanted to. But I basically wanted to have, I want to have separate profiles for the Dep Lewis Show. So if I do want to stream or capture or eventually, play with someone, play with the listener or whatever it may be, I want to have it separate and make it its own entity and an easy place for you to go find and see and watch all this great video game content. So I've restarted Splatoon 3 on my Dep Lewis Nintendo profile. I had to get my first Sheldon license so I could unlock the splatter shot, so that's immediately what I did. The Sheldon licenses in that game will help you unlock the new weapons, and you get those by ranking up. I've been getting kind of wrecked early, which is sad because I felt like I was doing pretty good on my other profile. So you think I'd be wrecking even harder on this one since I'm in the lower ranks, but for some reason I feel like I'm getting worked. So maybe just the overall Splat community is improving, and I am not, but I've still been playing. I think I've got up to rank 6 this week, so I've played a little bit of it. I had to get to rank 4 to be able to change my gear, and I believe I just got my gear in line with what I like on like one of my last 2 matches. So I like the ink saver for your main, I like the ink recovery help, and then I like the speed and the ink. So those are the 3 I'm trying to get. I eventually want to be able to pick the I think you can tailor what you can change the effects on the item. So if like you want a particular shirt with a particular effect, I think you can re-roll somehow to try to get that. So I don't love the style of the clothes I'm using right now, but they have the effects I want. So that is kind of, that takes precedence. But I eventually want to figure out how to the combo the style with the perks I'm trying to get. So I got to figure that out at some point. But I'm just starting again on my new profile, and I'm just doing turf wars. I'm just playing those 3-minute matches, and I'm just going to continue doing that and streaming some of it. So I streamed some of that this week. I've captured some footage, and it's been very fun. Splatoon 3 is still, cutting out the suspense of it. I know you're just dying in suspense, but Splatoon 3 is staying firmly at top of the leaderboard for games of the year. I love this game. It's getting up there with, some of my favorite games ever, maybe. It's been really, really cool. I don't see myself slowing down. I got a whole new profile to play on, so please come check me there. And you're going to be hearing a lot of Splatoon 3 updates, I feel like, so, lucky you. One game you're not going to be hearing any updates this week is Overwatch 2. And that's no hate to Overwatch 2, but I haven't played any. I was really hyping on that game for a couple weeks. I just haven't dedicated any time to playing it. I don't know if that's indicative of me playing that going forward, but Overwatch 2 is still really cool, and I don't have too much negative to say about it, but just to let you know, I haven't played any this week. Something else I played a little bit of this week was Vampire Survivors. That game is definitely in the Dep Lewis Show top games of the year for 2022. But I've learned, looked up a little info on this game, tried to suss some things out. I've actually got access to a second level in Vampire Survivors, which I played once or twice and was really tough. Had some very narrow corridors in that level. And that second level is called the Inlaid Library. And this level is unlocked by reaching level 20 in the Mad Forest. So I've been making progress in the Mad Forest, which is the first level. And to be honest, I didn't know this game even had different levels. And spoiler alert, there are more levels to unlock even after the second one, which I found out. So that is insane, because I thought this game was really just that one level, and I was already as happy as I was with it. The second level I got into, I only gave it 1 or 2 shots, and I got my ass kicked. And so my impression of that second level is not very high right now, because I didn't have success early with it. But it is the coolest thing that there is a second level and third, or how many ever levels are in this game. I just can't believe that's the case. And Imelda is my favorite character out of the 2 I have so far. So I learned her name. Imelda is the second lady I unlocked. Antonio is the first starting character, which I believe is the same for everyone. But Imelda, that's my lady right now. I hope to unlock some more characters in the future, since, getting Imelda was life-changing in this game for me. I've been making a lot more progress since I hooked up with my lady. And then also this week, Vampire Survivors as a whole added Twitch integration in there. And which is really cool. I need to try that out at some point, since this is a game I can easily stream and like doing, and I've talked about doing. So I need to mess with the Twitch integration with that and just see what's available. I know that was there was some game earlier in the year that had Twitch integration. I can't think of what it is right now, but it was it was like a real novel concept. And kind of the first time I heard it. It was some game earlier this year that okay, I'm blanking on that, but I'll have to tell you next episode, or if I think about it later. But it's cool. I guess we're gonna keep seeing that more and more in games. I like that it's not like a main focus, but it's something that they add into the game after release. And Vampire Survivors seems like, it's being very popular. So it's just a smart move for them as a game, I think. Having the integration, get some more visuals out there on your game, get some more eyeballs out there. Vampire Survivors is doing great, and I expect to play some more of it this week. Vampire Survivors is I have 3 games going right now, so it's probably the bottom of the totem on that. But it is also the easiest game to get in and play, so Vampire Survivors should be sticking around for a good bit for me. So that's game number 2 I've been playing. And game number 3 I've been playing is the main event for this week. Dum dum dum! All aboard the God of War hype train! Kratos, are you on? Atreus, are you here? It's the hype train. It's God of War. I'm playing God of War. And not the one you might think I'm playing. You might think I'm one of these cool streamers out here, or cool podcasters. who has a pre-release copy of Ragnarok? No, I do not. And it's not because they sent them to me. It's just because it didn't happen. It's because I'm playing the old game. I'm playing God of War 2018. I've never beaten this game before. I've started it once before, maybe twice before. I've never beaten a God of War game. I played a little bit of, I think, 1 and 2 back when they released the collection back in the day, maybe on like PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2. But I always just gave up on God of War, getting my ass kicked, getting beat up. But this one I'm playing, and I'm going to complete it. And I'm all aboard this God of War hype train because God of War 2 comes out, or not God of War 2. God of War Ragnarok comes out on the 11th, I believe it is. Or it's the 9th. Let's see. Man, I'm doing really bad with remembering some stuff right now. This is shitty. But God of War 2, yeah, it's either the 9th or the 11th. So that game's coming out soon. But it's not going to be something I'll probably be caught up for. But I'm in the midst of going through God of War 1 right now. I will start streaming. I figured I would start streaming some of this game once I get past where, when I'm seeing new content. I've started this game twice, so I'm replaying this early section for the 3rd time. So I'm really just trying to kind of quickly get through it. But I'll possibly start streaming some of this game once I get a little further in it. I'm playing this game on easy because, like I said, I'm a noob. I think that'll help me, get through the game, see the story, have some fun, hit some people with my axe. I'm playing this on the on my Dep Lewis Show account, so that's why I restarted. I had started playing this game earlier in the year, but it just kind of fell off. So I thought this would be a great time to start playing it again. And I've been hearing all the God of War content on podcasts, so I'm not too worried about spoilers. I'm never really too concerned with that, especially with this game being out for so long, and I listen to so much video game content. I'm going to hear stuff about it, so I'm not too stressing about any of that stuff, but it actually has been, just making me more hyped to play it. And the God of War 2018, there's a lot of wintry stuff going on, so that's kind of cool too for the time of the year it is right now. It's cold outside, and it's been really fun. I've been taking some notes while I'm playing to tell you about things that I think are cool, and so we're going to start there. So this section is very spoiler heavy if you're really invested in God of War. I'm just going to talk about some things I've been liking as I'm going through, so just keep that in mind if you just want to skip ahead or whatever. But the beginning, it seems like your beginning nemesis is a guy called the Stranger. He's knocking on your door, and when he meets Kratos, he says, "I thought you would be bigger." I think that's pretty funny. And also when you're fighting this guy, he says he can't feel anything that's being done to him, which is really creepy. This guy is a very intense bad guy, if that's what he is. He has an amazing voice actor. Like the first time you hear him knocking outside of your door in the house, it's kind of like, I guess chilling would be the word. And you're even scared, like, you're controlling Kratos, but you can't see this person outside of your door that has made a big ruckus, and he's talking mad shit, so it's just a little bit scary. So I looked up the voice actor. His name is Jeremy Davies, so shout out to him. He does an excellent job. You can tell. I bet he has other great things he's done. But the Stranger's a really, really cool bad guy early. It's such a brutal fight with him. Kratos tries to choke him, but then ends up snapping his neck and throwing him down this cliff. So I don't think it's the last we've seen of that guy. But him and Atreus after that say, "Hey, we got to get the hell out of our house." They know where we are. Kratos has got his little secrets from Atreus. So they have to go on their mission. And their mission is to get their wife/mother, her ashes, to the top of the highest mountain. So they have a long journey to the top of this crazy mountain you can see. And you can see it in the distance, which is really cool from the outset of this game. But you just know it's going to take you a long time to get there. Then Kratos' wife has died. I'm just writing down questions and stuff as I'm going through. So I said, why did they revealed that Kratos' wife marked the trees for her own pyre? So that's something that I'm looking to get the answer for later in this game of like, I don't think it has any context of how she died or what happened, but Atreus is trying to figure out some of this stuff. Kratos obviously knows this stuff, so you're kind of in between it. So I want to find out why. She must have had some prelude to knowing she was dying or whatever, or premonition or whatever it is. I don't know. But Kratos' wife, rest in peace, no longer here. And it is sad. Poor little Atreus is all sad about it. Kratos is Mr. Hardass and trying to get Atreus to, be a man, but he's a little boy, and he's got some type of sickness. And you can see Kratos with his hard self, doesn't want to show Atreus any affection or coddle him, but he's struggling with it. You can see he's struggling with it. So I guess that's some of the subtext of this game is their little relationship. And it's cool. It's a cool, really, really cool intro to this game and a cool setup. And I heard Kyle Hilliard on MinMax talking this week about how God of War historically has great intros. So I think this game lines up with that and makes sense. And it's sounding like the new God of War Ragnarok has an epic intro too. And all the early footage I've been seeing of that is really cool. So we are riding on that train right now. It is going down the tracks. This is a hype train, baby. We are getting hype in this motherfucker. So God of War being really cool. Some other things. The two, I guess they're dwarves, Brock and Sindri, the two bros that are beefing. They got the two sides of they have a brand and they each have one side of the brand and they are no longer friends, so you can only get half the brand now. But Brock is the first merchant we meet. We meet him on a bridge and his animal wouldn't move. And Atreus is able to talk to the animal and figure out what he wants and help him move, and he's sweet to him. So shout out to Atreus for being nice to the animals. He calls Kratos a son of a bitch in conversation, just kind of being funny. So I thought that was funny. This little short dwarf to be calling Kratos, be talking so friendly with Kratos like that. So I really, they've been some cool early characters to see Kratos and Atreus interacting with, and the cooler character I've met is the witch. The witch is really, really cool. So Kratos is teaching Atreus how to hunt, and Atreus comes across this armored boar, shoots him once, the arrow pings off him. He finally gets a good clean shot on him and runs to go chase him down. Runs to go chase the boar down and see if he actually killed him. And when he gets there, there's a lady there, all upset that the boar has been shot. And so Kratos has to run up to Atreus and this lady and find out what's going on. And the lady basically says, "This is the last boar in this realm. Why the hell did you shoot him?" And they said they were just doing target practice. So this lady remains calm and just tries to help save her little boar buddy. And you have to go collect some herbs and stuff and help him out. And the lady makes you help, which you should do because you hurt her little boar friend. And the boar actually lives, which is cool. But that's where I'm at in the game. I'm still really early. So we got some help from the witch. We got some protection from her. And now we're just moving up the mountain. So I'm going to keep playing this game this week. And I'll have some updates for you next week. I'm going to keep up with my notes and things and write down things that I think are cool. Some of the menu stuff in this game and weapon stuff is overwhelming. I've been trying to read it a little more carefully and take it slowly so I can figure out what's going on because I'm sure it's advantageous to me. But I've started this game twice and I've had that thought both times. It was just a little overwhelming, but maybe solely focusing on this game, as my single player experience right now will simplify it for me. Just something I'd like to point out there that I'm feeling about this game. And some of the puzzles in this game get me too. I'm not the best at figuring out puzzles in games. And I've even had to, this will be the third time I've done some of these puzzles, and I bet I'll be looking up some of these early ones, how to do them again. But I've been successful so far. So, maybe I'm just getting better. You never know. And just some things I'm doing differently on this playthrough from last time is I'm trying to focus more on the close combat skills. And I'm also trying to boost up Atreus, but mainly before I was doing a lot of Atreus boosting and throwing my axe, putting skills into that, the axe throwing. But I find myself doing more just close quarter combat when I'm playing this game. So I was like, why the hell don't I just start boosting some of that stuff to see if that'll increase my skill at this game? And I think it kind of has. Even though I'm playing on easy, I'm just kind of understanding it more. I'm getting that you have to be more deliberate with your button presses. I've just been mashing too much, but you really just press the button once, Kratos is going to slice. I've unlocked a combo where you hit R1 3 times and then R2 for like a finisher. So just being more deliberate with those 3 presses and then hitting the R2. It's been really, really cool. And then the second perk I unlocked was holding down R1, and it's going to attack enemies multiple times, knock them down. So it looked like a cool thing to use, like if a group of people is coming up to you. So I'm kind of maybe do 2 to 1 with so far. Like do 2 of upgrading my close combat, and then 1 to Atreus and his arrows, because the arrows are really helpful. And I'm just realizing through this third playthrough that when you can hit square to have Atreus shoot arrows at enemies on the screen, but you need to actually be aiming this. So that's the thing I've been focusing on this time that's been helping is there's a little indicator on the screen of where Atreus' arrow is supposed to go. So you need to kind of aim that a little more. You don't have to be exactly perfect, but you need to be having Kratos kind of looking at the same thing. Like wherever Kratos is focusing is where that arrow is going to be shot. So you can't just be having Atreus shoot random people on the screen or whatever. But it's been really fun. We're going to be hearing a lot of God of War stuff. I'm going to be playing God of War stuff. There's a lot of God of War stuff in the universe right now, so it's a great time to be playing some God of War, even if you're playing the old one. My goal would be to finish this game and then play Ragnarok. Maybe not right after, but possibly if I'm really liking it, and it'll be cool that it's available. So very excited about the God of War hype train that I'm on, and we should be on that for a little while. Shout out to that witch. The witch is really cool. I'm figuring we're going to see her a good bit more throughout the game. She tells Atreus at the end, he's like, oh, am I going to see you again? And she goes, you can see me as much or as little as you want. She's just being a sweet lady to him, but I wonder what that actually means. I definitely think we're going to see some more interaction with the witch. So God of War is really cool. So I've been playing, that's about all I've been playing this week. I'm trying to think if I played any other games or even tried anything out, but not really. I've deleted some digital games on my consoles just so I can focus on these ones I'm playing. So right now I have Splatoon 3 is going. That's on my Switch. God of War is going on my PlayStation. I have Splunky 2 downloaded on both of those because you can never not have Splunky 2. Vampire Survivors I'm playing on my laptop. And then I actually downloaded on Game Pass, which my Game Pass is about to run out. I had a monthly sub going. I downloaded Persona 5 Royal on the Xbox. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm going to start that on there. I own that game on PlayStation, but just having my game spread out on my consoles would be cool, and then I could talk about it. So, I can talk about the Xbox version. So I may start that. I was thinking that would be a great game to, I have my Xbox in my room. I was thinking that would be a great game to, it's like a visual novel, I hear. So it'd be a good game to play, like laying in the bed or whatever. And a good game to have on its own console, especially with the quick resume where it's not taking up anything. It would be cool to try it on Switch, but I just don't see myself, not playing Splatoon 3, so it would be hard to boot up something else besides Splatoon 3 on a Switch right now. So that's another game I'm kicking around that you might hear me talking about next week. I'm hearing people talk about that game, and I get hyped out about that game every time it's talked about now thinking about it. Even back when Giant Bomb was playing the fourth one, they streamed the entire thing. They did an endurance run for it. They didn't do it all at once, but their endurance runs where they would be playing through a whole game and they would show you, every second of it. So they were recording all their gameplay footage and showing you them running through their whole game. And I would watch that all the time. Persona 4. I bought Persona 5 when it came out, played some of it, and now I have the Royal version. So it's like, I like something about this. I listen to the soundtrack all the time. I'm thinking, you guys are listening to me work through my video game issues, which aren't real issues. They're just kind of fun. But I think that's what I'm thinking now. I might start this on the Xbox this week. And just, this game is very, very long. So I'm going to have zero rush to finish it. But it would be something cool to have just sit there. Almost like having a book you're not mainly focused on, but you're trying to make some progress on. Ooh, and that's a teaser for next week. We're gonna get a little bit smarter on here. They try to say, oh, people play video games too much. You need to quit playing those video games. You need to go out there and do something. And what will they tell you sometimes? They'll tell you to read a book. And I finished a book this week, and I finished a series this week. Well, I'm caught up on a series, so I'm gonna maybe go through a ranking of those books next week and talk about them. So that's just a little teaser for next week. If you like to read some shit, the Dep Lewis Show likes to read some shit too. So just breaking news that we can read. So it's probably the more shocking part to you. But yeah, just teasing that. I think that's it. Let me rack my brain for video game things this week. I don't think I have anything. So we're gonna take a short break, and we're gonna talk about some video games I've been seeing out there. There's been some cool things this week as always, and we're going to get into them. So please take a moment, do whatever you want to do. take a restroom break, get a drink, have a smoke, go pet your dog, go tell your girlfriend she's cool, tell your boyfriend he's nice, call a family member, but please come back and listen to the Dep Lewis Show. Welcome back, listeners. This is episode 4 of the Dep Lewis Show, and we are continuing on. We're here to talk about some video games I've been seeing out there that are cool, and I want to pass that information along to you. So there's been a few releases this week. I want to start about, well, actually there was one that was the week prior that came out, but there's been a lot of talk about this game. It's called Gotham Knights. It came out on October 21st, and this one looks like a stay away unless you just really want to. If you look at the info of this game and you really just are into it, but this game basically, then I don't know. It's been getting kind of lackluster reviews. It's a game where Batman has died, and his other like homies like Bat Lady and I don't know who else is in there, but it's not characters besides Batman that are like trying to, like subdue the crime in the city. So you're playing as other people in the Bat universe besides Batman, and one of the critiques I was hearing was that the Arkham games back in the day, the combat was pretty novel and kind of refreshing at that point and cool and new. But that combat has been taken since then and done over and over by Arkham and also been implemented into other games like the Spider-Man games and other games where you're fighting, so it's not as novel anymore. So they're just saying that the combat in this game seemed to be a little boring, and I don't know. I just from what I'm hearing, I would say this looks like a game to stay away from, but that's just the Dep Lewis Show opinion. I wasn't clocking this game. I didn't really plan on trying it, and then all the review stuff I'm hearing just seems a little bit mediocre. Some of the gameplay stuff looks okay. Like, I mean, it looks cool, but like some of the fighting stuff just looks okay, and some of the Batman City stuff looks cool, but I don't know. But just in case you're interested in that, it came out on the 21st. Something that came out more recently, so there's 2 big games this week. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out on 10/28. You can get this game for $69.99 for the next-gen versions. I don't plan on picking this up. I played some of the beta. I just have not a love-hate relationship with Call of Duty, but we have a relationship where I'm not always there for you, Call of Duty. Call of Duty's always there. Call of Duty first came out in 2003. And, I've had many favorite Call of Duties, which I went through and was looking at, try to see which ones I was playing. And some of my favorite Call of Duties of all time have been Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. That was in 2007. And then Call of Duty World at War in 2008 was another game I played a lot of immediately after. Then it looks like I took a year off. My next one I would really like would be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in 2009. In 2014 was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And then 2019 was Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And then in 2020, I played some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. But that I attribute that was the year I got my Series X. And there wasn't tons to play at launch. Or, I mean, this was just one of the games at launch that I wanted to see how it worked and ran on there. So I played some of it. But I would say those ones prior are the big heavy hitters for me for Call of Duty. So, I mean, you can see the only one I have on that list is World at War was the only older one I really liked, but that was because they gave us that one right after Modern Warfare 4 in 07. So we were going to play whatever they gave us at that point. I feel like for how big a success Call of Duty 4 was, but this new game came out. The campaign came out a week prior, which is kind of cool. So people had access to the campaign a week earlier before the multiplayer, so it allowed reviewers and things to discuss the campaign before the multiplayer comes out and takes over, because most people are probably coming to Call of Duty for the multiplayer. So I don't know if I'll play this. Call of Duty's one where I could play it any year, but the amount of how much I'll play it will vary a lot. So with me having Splatoon 3 as my online game right now and some Overwatch 2, I just don't see myself playing this, but I think this game is supposed to go for 2 years. I don't know if they're supposed to release a new Call of Duty next year. This could be a good one to look to cop on a sale, especially if it's going to be around to be supported for a while. It being Modern Warfare, I think gives it a lot of life cycle on the play of it, because I think people like those more, and I do too. So maybe I'll pick this up if later on down the road, if there's a lull in gaming or I'm just getting itched to play it, I could see myself playing it. But I just want to let you guys know that it's out there. I haven't really heard anything too negative. I haven't heard anything too positive or too addicting about it. I don't think it's shattering the Call of Duty mold, but I'm sure it's doing great. I'm sure it's selling well. I'm sure a lot of people are playing it and excited for it. So Call of Duty is a fun thing. So if you'd like to play some of that, that's available now for all your modern warfaring. The other game that came out this week is Bayonetta 3. Came out on the 28th as well. You can get this game for $59.99 exclusive on the Nintendo Switch. So you got to cop a Switch if you want to play some Bayonetta 3. And I don't think I'm going to be playing this right away, but this is something I want to play at some point. A lot of the I heard on Nintendo Voice Chat this week, it was Kat Bailey discussing this, and she was saying how she was, impressed that this game is getting such great reviews. She was a little bit worried. I think she's she's obviously more tuned into the Bayonetta workings than me, and she's played them. But she was saying, she expected, maybe this game not to be hitting so hard, and all the early reviews are showing that it's really awesome and people are liking it. So I think that's a great sign, and I want to play this at some point. I decided I don't want to be playing this while I'm playing God of War because it could be confusing for the battle. But Bayonetta has she has a gun on her shoe. She has a shoe gun. I mean, why haven't I played this? If you can press a button to shoot a shoe gun, that sounds pretty fun. So I need to check this game out. I was looking up, I have Bayonetta 1 on the Xbox, and then it went exclusive to Nintendo after that. But it said Bayonetta 1 sold over 1 million units. It said 1.35 million units. And then I looked up some stats on Bayonetta 2, and it said as of December 31st of last year, so 2021, it had sold 1 million copies on Switch alone. And Bayonetta 2 was originally released on the Wii U, which was a very underperforming console, and sales-wise and impact-wise. But it says it sold 300K units on there. So I was kind of surprised that the sales figures looked a little bit similar on 1 and 2 because 2 is held in such high regard. But going back to when I was listening to Kat Bailey on the Nintendo Voice Chat, she makes it sound like Bayonetta 1 is just of high quality as Bayonetta 2. And so it's just cool. I think it's impressive. It seems like they've hit 3 for 3 on the Bayonetta series. And, just for like an ancillary franchise for Nintendo. I know I didn't say that word right, but it's not a marquee franchise for them, but it seems like it's being very steady. So we'll probably be seeing some more Bayonetta down the road, especially if 3 keeps getting the praise that it's getting. So Bayonetta 3 came out on 10/28, and then the last interesting thing of a release I saw this week is for a game that's already been released, but they are doing some more content to it. It's Cult of the Lamb, and it's the Cult of the Lamb Blood Moon Festival. And this Blood Moon Festival is going on from October 24th to November 10th, and this is a limited time event. The press release says, under the light of the blood moon, devotees can harvest pumpkins to unlock a brand new ritual that will raise former members of their cult, casting them back to the land of the living as wandering spirits. So this is a limited time event. They have that new blood moon ritual. They have 3 new follower forms to unlock, 4 base decorations to unlock, and they have a new music track. And so there was a new cool little trailer that came out with this announcement. And this game has actually been on sale recently too. So if you haven't bought this game, I believe it's been $5 off on most platforms. And I even saw they have like a deluxe version of this game, which is just a few bucks more, and you just get a few extra follower forms. So it's just a few little extra cosmetic things. But I actually saw that version being cheaper than the standard version on one platform. I forget what it was, but I feel like that would be something good to know, that you can get a little bit of extra content for a little less money. So Cult of the Lamb is a really cool game. It's something I want to play more of at some point when I can fit it into my video game schedule. And I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought about wanting to try to see some of this Blood Moon Festival, but that's another game that I think is not going anywhere. I think it's going to be well supported. Maybe next year, that could be a game like Animal Crossing, where next year they do the Blood Moon Festival again. So I'm not stressing off these. Every game's doing these kind of things these days. It's just kind of fun or cool if it's a game you like, kind of like the Splatoon Splatfest. you can get a lot of FOMO on these things because all these games are trying to do these things nowadays. So just focusing on the ones that you like is probably more important. So I could see myself checking this out. I still got 10 days left in the Blood Moon Festival. I would probably want to restart this game on my new Dep Lewis Show profile. So we'll see. But Cult of the Lamb is a great game. It's definitely going to be on my top 10 game of the year list this year. So no suspense there, but that's a really cool game. Especially on Switch. Seems like a really great Switch game to have. So Cult of the Lamb Blood Moon Festival is out now. Go play it. So that's what I've been seeing this week. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out. Bayonetta 3 came out. Gotham Knights came out the week prior. And we got the Cult of the Lamb Blood Moon Festival going on now. So that is it for the gaming landscape / gaming news / things that the Dep Lewis Show thinks are interesting during the week. And hopefully you do too. So we're going to take another break. We're going to come back for the last section of this show. And it's our miscellaneous section. Today we're going to talk a little bit of sports. We're going to talk a little bit of music. And we're going to talk a little bit of things that you put in your mouth. And I'm going to leave that one open so you'll come back and listen. So listen to this great music provided by the Great Volness on SoundCloud. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the final section, the miscellaneous section of the Dep Lewis Show, episode 4. So we're here to get into a few things that I want to talk about today, things that interest me and hopefully interest you. And one thing today is the Carolina Panthers. Today is Sunday, October 30th, and the Carolina Panthers are playing division rival, the Atlanta Falcons. I believe they play the Falcons 2 out of the next 3 weeks. Falcons are surprisingly playing very well this year. Have a good running game. So the Panthers are going to look to shut that shit down at 1 o'clock today. PJ Walker is the starting QB. We got no Chuba Hubbard or Chuba. I got to learn this week on some homework for me is I got to learn if his name is Chuba or Chuba. I feel like I say Chuba, but maybe it's Chuba. But I don't know. Either way, he's not playing, which is kind of sad. But we got Foreman, who's starting today, who got some runs last week. So hopefully he'll come in and be ready to do the damn thing. Steve Wilkes wondering if, they had that big win last week. I'm wondering if Steve Wilkes is going to get a shot at being the head coach. He got the game ball from Big Tepper after the win against Tampa Bay last week. So that was pretty cool. And he goes, hey, I got one more game ball and it's for the coach. So I don't know. I think they can definitely beat the Falcons today. I don't know if they will. I hope to see DJ Moore getting a lot of touches and a lot of focus on the offense again this week. He's, one of my favorite players on there, and I think is key to them winning. They need to unlock that fool. They need to have the ball in his hands. Another cool Panthers thing, Steve Smith, former Panthers wide receiver, has a podcast that's called Cut To It, and I think he does it with his friend who's a producer. And he was talking this week about how good Derek Brown is, and he could be fringe all Pro Bowl one day, kind of caliber of a guy. So I'm hoping Derek Brown today will be really, busting up the middle and helping shut down the Falcons' run. So Derek Brown's been playing like a monster, and Steve Smith was recognizing him, and I'm recognizing him here too, for whatever that's worth. And Steve Smith was saying how the Panthers should focus on getting another big D tackle that's good, that the combo of him and Derek Brown and Brian Burns in the back would be pretty epic to stop. So I thought that was a cool idea, and I kind of agree with him. And then the last thing that's funny about the Panthers this week is that anytime you listen, I follow a lot of the Panthers. They'll do like in the locker room interviews with players and stuff, and I'll watch them and listen to what they're talking about. And you can always hear ping pong in the background. And then you can always hear people in the comments saying, they shouldn't have time to be playing ping pong. They should be studying film. They should be watching. They should be going through walkthroughs and fucking exercising and treating their body. And it's like, it's just so stupid. And I kind of think they're trolling at this point now. Like, I think whenever they turn these cameras on, in these interviews, they're saying, hey, someone go play ping pong. There could be someone not even back there playing. They're just hitting the ball up and down on the thing just to piss these people off on the internet. I've started following this other... I'll shout them out next week because I've been watching a little bit of them. There's this other Panthers podcast that goes on, and they bring it up too. They say, well, there's the ping pong again. And I don't think they're being ultimately serious, but they're, even the fact that it's being pointed out is funny. And, I don't even think I would have been thinking this. But, so if anyone wants to know why the Panthers aren't doing so well, it's because they like ping pong, apparently. But, so maybe they need to go do that and play in a professional league. Maybe if they don't like their NFL salaries, then they should go play professional ping pong and see if people want to follow them there. That's just what I feel like people sound like on the internet doing that. But let those dudes play ping pong and then also let them get some wins. So I just hope the Panthers can keep winning so they can keep playing ping pong. I just want them to be to be happy in that way. Let the guys play ping pong, goddamn it, and let them win some games. So I hope the Panthers will win today. I'm starting DJ more in fantasy. I gave my boy a break last week and he went off. So he didn't go off, but he scored some points and I'm hoping he's trending in the better direction today. So I hope PJ Walker's ready to ball. I'm ready to see him throw the ball down the field a little bit more. And I hope the Panthers can kick some ass somehow today. So hopefully we'll have some good news to report next week. The official NBA team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Atlanta Hawks, are 4-2 at the moment. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks last night, 115 to 123. The Hawks got Raptors, Knicks, and the Pelicans coming up this week, so let's think through that real quick. They should beat the Raptors. They should beat the Knicks, and the Pelicans should probably be a pretty good game. But, I don't know, they could go 3-0. They could go 3-0, so we'll see. Hawks have started off really great. It's been fun to watch Murray mix in with the offense, and I was looking up the points leaders for the Hawks as of right now. Trae Young is scoring an insane amount. He's averaging 31.5 a game. And I think there's some statistics this year where there's more players averaging over 30 than normal. So that's pretty crazy because averaging 30 points a game is a very high number. And I think for the amount of players doing it right now too is increased. I doubt it's an insane number, but I think it's just more than usual. So that's something I might want to look up just for my own interest. But Trae's scoring 31.5. Murray is averaging 20. DeAndre Hunter is averaging 14.5. And John Collins is averaging 14. So I think that's like a perfect spread. I think you would want it to work exactly like that because you got Trae as your main offense. You got Murray, who's got killer offense, but also is amazing at defense. And he's more of a wing, has some more size. You got DeAndre Hunter, who should be more of just your scorer, and that man can play defense too. And he's probably taken on. I think he's got more size than Murray, so he's probably taken on. They're more premier guys, so it could be the reason for his point. His points being lower, which I think makes sense. And then you got Collins at 14, which is the lowest out of these big four, but Collins is also the big man out of this group, so he's trying to get rebounds and set the defensive tone. So I think the way that's looking is a good sign for the Hawks. I probably should have looked at some more of their stats, but I just looked at a few quick ones before this podcast today. But shout out to the Hawks. I don't know. I think there's a few good, really good teams in the East, and then they could maybe be in that midsection. But getting over the hump of those top teams would be tough. But you never know. Maybe they'll get some luck. Maybe they'll really start clicking. Maybe they could pick up a free agent. Maybe there'll be some unfortunate injury for another team. I'm not hoping that, but that's just kind of how it goes. But the Hawks are going to need a few dominoes to drop, and they're going to need to be on point themselves for them to have a shot. So that's just kind of what I'm getting at with this, that the Hawks are going to have to not play perfect because no one plays perfect, but they're going to have to be on their game, and they're going to have a few other teams that are normally on their game off their game. I don't think the Hawks have the capacity just to steamroll the East or the league like that, but they are looking more improved from last year, and they've been more fun to watch with Murray. So shout out to Murray, number 5, baby. I might want to cop a Murray jersey at some point. I've said that twice now, and it's probably true. Oh, man, that's another stupid thing, though. Hawks traded Kevin Huerter last year, the redheaded dude. Red Velvet. They traded him to the Sac Town, Sacramento, and I think he went off for like 27 points there at night. And I think we gave him up for like a ham sandwich, so that's kind of sad to see. I mean, I don't know. Not like the Hawks are hard up for a wing player, but I mean, that guy was good. And see him thriving somewhere else, I guess it's good for him, but sad for the Hawks. But nothing should be too sad for the Hawks right now because they're winning some games, so that's it. That's going to end the sports updates for today. Last two things I wanted to talk about are a little more random. We're going to talk about some of the Dep Lewis Show favorite albums of the year so far. Maybe I'll do a ranking of these at the end of the year. But I got recommended to listen to JID or JID's album this week called The Forever Story. And it's something I looked it up. I think it came out maybe a month ago or a little while ago. Or more recent time in the year though, last couple months. And I've started listening to that and it's really, really cool. So that made me think of like, hey, what other albums have I been liking this year? So I'm going to bring those to you today. Freddie Gibbs' album, Soul Sold Separately. I've mentioned that before. I think the Jeff, he has two comedian outros on there that I've identified. One's Jeff Ross and one's Joe Rogan. I think Jeff Ross got him on the outro. I think his is funnier, but it's funny to hear Joe Rogan on there too. But I thought, I want to listen to see if there's any more comedians on there so I can rank the comedy on the Freddie Gibbs album. But Jeff Ross is leading that off, and his is very funny to listen to on there. Future dropped his album I Never Liked You. Future is one of the Dep Lewis Show favorite artists ever. I've been known to scream Future out in public when I want him played, so I will always be a Future fan. His new album is actually really good, and I like a lot of the songs on there and still listen to them, so it's always cool when Future drops a great project. So he'd be on my list. Kendrick Lamar dropped his album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I was really into this when it first came out. It didn't really last with me throughout the year, but it was a good album, and I should probably give it some more spins. Lil Durk dropped his album 720 7220, and his album is awesome. There's even a deluxe version with more songs, and I've listened to this album pretty consistently. It would probably be in pretty good contention for favorite albums of the year. Lil Durk is really cool. I just kind of got into him, but a lot of these songs I listen to, they're on some of my favorite playlists I listen to daily. So Lil Durk, shout out to him. Drake, Honestly Nevermind, dropped this year, which I really, really liked. It's kind of more of like a dance kind of club album from Drake. He's doing some more singing on there. But with that album, again, there's a good handful of songs in there I'm playing a lot recently and frequently. So shout out to that. And then to get on the Drake hype train, there is a Drake and 21 Savage album coming next week, and it's called Her Loss, November 4th. So I'm going to be listening to the hell out of that because 21 Savage is a shit. And him being with Drake is a cool combo. I think they work well together and are a good, they're just a good balance of their talents. And then hearing that on a whole album is going to be sick. Future and Drake dropped their collab album back in the day, and that was awesome. And 21 Savage is the shit. So I'm kind of hoping there will be a lot of hard tracks on here. I want to hear about all the ops. I want to hear about all the smoke. I want to hear all the guns going click clack. And but they're going to be talking about Her Loss, so there could be some. I don't know. I should have probably thought about that before talking about all the click clack. But her Loss makes it seem like it could be maybe more an R&B kind of thing. But with 21, there's got to be something on there that's an op is getting shot. So I don't know. It'd be cool to hear from them. Probably be some other features on there, maybe like a handful, I would guess. It'd be kind of cool to do. But then again, I can't remember if you do a collab album, if you're allowed to have features. I know you can do whatever you want, but even thinking back to Drake and Future, What a Time to Be Alive, I don't know if there was any other features on them besides those two. But Drake and 21 could give us somebody. So we'll see. Her Loss, November 4th. I believe that's next Friday. So I should have something to report back to that next week. And then the last section for today is something that happens tomorrow in the United States of America or wherever else, is Halloween, October 31st, All Hallows Eve. That's the day to dress up as something you like, something you think is cool, something you think is funny, something you think is scary, and you walk around. People are handing out candy. I was at a party yesterday. They already had some candy out. I bought some candy for myself at the store. Candy's just so abundant right now, and it's so delicious. So just wanted to talk about some of the best candies that you can eat out there. Probably the best candy of the year that I've discovered this year, actually, which is the 2022 best candy of the year, are caramel M&Ms. If you never had one of those, go get them and put them in the fridge, and they're fucking good. M&Ms are the shit. Who would have known what caramel would make them even better? I like the peanut butter ones. I like the peanut ones. I like the plain ones. I like the fudge ones. I sound like that guy from Forrest Gump about shrimp. But M&M's, great candy. Kit Kat's another great candy. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that. And then there's Reese Cups are great. I had a Reese Cup shaped like a pumpkin yesterday. I was walking on cloud 9 eating that mug. It was so good. Another one that's good, York peppermint patties. Refreshing in your mouth. Chocolate, just, ooh, so good. Like a minty chocolate bite. Stick those in the fridge. You gotta stick all these bitches in the fridge. That's a Dep Lewis Show tip for you right there. Put your goddamn chocolate in the fridge. Put your desserts in the fridge. It helps. For all you fat asses out there, if you want to taste something good, put your shit in the fridge. And then last candy off the chocolate train would be a Swedish fish. Can't go wrong with a Swedish fish. Great candy, especially if you want something, fruity and chewy. And I know a lot of you out there want some fruity. Hey-o. But yeah, if you want your fruit, cop a Swedish fish, baby. Those things are great. And that's it. So hope you enjoy some great candy tomorrow. Hope you have a great costume. Dep Lewis Show will be wearing nothing. Be wearing no costume because I'm not cool enough to wear one. And I got nowhere to go wearing one either. So Dep Lewis Show. Shout out to Halloween. So thank you. That's going to be the end of our show today. I want to reiterate a few more things from the beginning here at the end. So I need to get better at doing that. Please follow the Dep Lewis Show everywhere. You need to like, you need to subscribe, you need to rate, you need to review, you need to turn on notifications, and you need to tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Check out full episodes of the Dep Lewis Show on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Patreon, Buzzsprout, and there's even more places on my Buzzsprout page you can find a list to if you so want to. I'm posting clips from the podcast on YouTube and TikTok. And just thank you for listening. I really appreciate you being here. This has been super fun to do. This is episode 4. I am riding that God of War hype train. I'm riding that Elgato hype train. I got that Splatoon 3. I got that Vampire Survivors. We're going to watch the Panthers win. We're going to watch the Hawks get some more dubs. We're going to listen to some more albums. We're going to eat some candy. We're going to follow some video game news this week and see what's coming out. And that's it. I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll be back next week for episode 5. And peace out. Have a good one. Thank you again. And see you later.